Okay, I'm just I got Halo 3 Sapien, if I'm saying it right. It's a part of the modding kit that they released a while ago. I got it up and running, and I've loaded one of the early levels in. And just to start off as a disclaimer, this may be a really old version of the campaign that you're looking at. Um, I have no idea at what stage during um, the development that they would have used this version of the campaign on. So whatever we see here is just, it could be all fixed and patched bugs or anything like that. It's all probably long since been fixed or patched. But after starting off of that little disclaimer, um, I just felt like exploring because this is actually a really powerful tool here that actually gives us a really good look. And if you know what you're looking at right now, this is. But for those that don't, I'm gonna say this is like the second level into Halo 3. Whenever you fall down the elevator shaft and Master Chief is at the bottom, they do the little. I think there's a cutscene. I'm not entirely sure, but I haven't played through it in a bit. I'm pretty sure there's a cutscene where he's walking away from the fire and the Marines are injured and such, lying around down here. Um, but I can go into player mode here and actually walk around in this version of the scene. However, everything's default. The controls are all default, and there's no audio. I'm not sure how to get the audio rolling on that, but I'm I'm not sure what kind of background music I was going to play behind either. I didn't want to do any copyrights, so I don't know what the default switch weapon button is. Oh, I'm gonna end up blowing myself up, but it don't matter. I'll just respawn. So hold E to swap. I didn't want to swap the battle rifle, but whatever. This is like not a very serious playthrough because I also have this feature here which lets me turn on cheats, which is basically the skulls, like acrophobia, or infinite ammo. They're basically they're skulls that do all this. In it's basically like difficulty modifier kind of things. I don't know if there's one for deathless player though. If there's an actual skull for that one, but I can make myself invulnerable. So we can go anywhere. Um, which one is the acrophobia? Which will let me fly. Um, it's probably jetpack right here. So I'll set that to true, right? It's probably jetpack. Yeah. Okay. So jetpack is acrophobia. If you can actually do this much in the campaign already. So sometimes this happens when I hit a loading wall that loads up another section of the level. If I just wait, um, that's something that happens instantly in game. Like you might get like a little hiccup and it'll pop up and say loading done. You've probably felt that. It might be like a hiccup of a frame's length, if you even feel it at all. Um, but I may have missed the trigger for the door. So I'm gonna fly back here. When you're using acrophobia, you might fly through triggers. So I gotta walk, so that it triggers the door to open whenever at some point. If I'm understanding it correctly, that's why the door might not be opening. That or it's just an old version of the campaign. So, oof. So I can just fly out here in edit mode, I guess. Or well, it's like a. It's not really in edit mode. It's more like I feel like I'm Spark, like kind of. It's you know the in Forge Ball mode, and I can just kind of fly anywhere without any sort of barriers whatsoever. I can go anywhere. Um, I can look at anything I want, and depending on where the chat takes us, I'll look at whatever you guys want. I'll prioritize that. So I guess it's opening up the idea of this stream. Just gonna check the chat right quick. I'm gonna try to angle a really good angle here. For the thumbnail, maybe. So that would be an excellent thumbnail shot. That's actually a really good screenshot too. This game has actually aged quite well. I believe it came out in 2007 originally, and that's still quite a beautiful angle. I'm gonna have to get a screenshot of that. Um, when you line it up right and kind of hide the exposed parts, it's just so beautiful what the detail they put into the skybox here. Credit to the skybox artist. And it even makes sense to what was going on in the story as well. It's set after the orbital elevator fell. So we've got remnants of the orbital elevator just scattered throughout. And it's just a neat, at some point they stop using 3D models, but they don't just outright stop using 3D models, so it looks like a smaller copy of the other models over there, just kind of rotated and spun around. And then we have 2D right here, and a good angle of it from back there, from where the player would be. That would be convincing. Like it's already convincing from about here, to me anyway. Well, if I'm not really looking for it, if I'm just kind of just scanning the horizon like this, I wouldn't notice that. Or if the camera was panning like that. It just goes so far. The skybox is huge. I don't know if it works like Half-Life skyboxes, where there's a small mini version somewhere. But it's so neat to see. I think if even the fire and smoke out here is just all 2D, all cleverly placed out here. These mountains, they look like an actual, like a terrain map kind of geography. That's still pretty convincing, and even though I'm getting really close to it. Well, and it starts vanishing, so that's probably about the true limit. So I look back at the map, I'm very far away. gonna start flashing. And I don't know if there's a way to move the player out here. I really doubt that the player can get this far out. I think that's what that red box in there represents. So let me just pop back to the map real quick to explain that. So, when I get far enough out, you'll see a big red box sort of appear. So even if you get past all kill barriers and you somehow make it on a walkable surface or something that has colliders, a surface that has colliders in it, which will not match the terrain geography that you're seeing here. It will actually match the green lines you see going through the terrain. So the walkable surfaces would be, if you were to try to get a player Spartan out, would actually be, if you see those green lines right there. So I can only really see it whenever I'm far enough out. Yeah. So like, if you see where my mouse is, the player would have to find a way up here, and then they can walk on top of this, and they'll feel like they're floating because they're not walking on anything, but they can walk across this. That's assuming there's no barriers up here, soft kill or hard kill otherwise that would prevent you from coming up here. But then you could walk all the way out here if you really wanted to, and this might be like an hour-long play session because this is way bigger than it looks in the editor. And I think if you imagine the top side of the cube right there, that's the furthest a player can possibly make it up this mountain. If you so wanted to come up here. Well, that's assuming the mountain is... No, yeah, I'm being dumb again. That's assuming the mountain is even collidable. I should say that. If the mountain is not collidable or has player collision in it, then you're going to be walking inside of it. You won't be able to go out here past this point right here. There's just this red line is the hard barrier. You're outside of the playable area for the player. The rest is skybox, pretty much. And I happen to have just realized that's an interesting thing we have there in the distance. That would be for those that recognize that ship, it's the Juggernaut, I think it's called. All you history buffs, you can correct me down there in the comments. It has it's a Forerunner key ship as part of the main story, so you know the Skybox artist knew what was going on in the story to include that over there. Even though this early into the level, the player is likely to not have even noticed that. I don't even they might not have even. So maybe the angles are more obvious later in the level, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna get myself through that door down there. Get the player, I mean. Unless there's a way to move the player to the camera, which that might be the case. So I'll look at the tools here. But it might be under cheats, I don't know. Soft ceilings disable? I don't know what a soft ceiling is. Is that a those barriers you feel all the time whenever you're trying to get outside the map that kind of push you down. I'll have to test that, see what that is later. I can turn on active camo. Maybe I could do that if I manage to walk into a cutscene or something. I don't know how to trigger cutscenes with this tool. I know it can be done, I think. I don't know. But I don't want to make any promises. Do I have any viewers? Not quite yet. Maybe afterwards in the comment section people will just want to know what you guys think of this. Just let me know. Don't be afraid to comment down there. Quit being shy. Anyway, mission. I can do a map reset. Game revert, would that be like a loading last checkpoint? There's AI. AI enable? Yeah, turn the AI on. Yeah. That sounds interesting. And, you know, maybe I'll take this in the, this video into the direction of the Juggernaut. If that is the correct name of that ship. That way. So let's go look at that, Forerunner Keystone. So I'm just gonna enable. I think you get a really good view of this in the campaign during the Voy mission, which would be probably out here. So he made one skybox that was compatible with multiple levels of storytelling based on the angles the player is allowed to see at any given time. That's pretty smart. One skybox for many levels. When I get out here, things are going to start getting a little buggy looking because players are never meant. But as we get closer, it's kind of exciting to see if it truly is a 3D model, and it's looking like it is. It's really awesome. I wonder if that could be ripped somehow, because that would be an awesome model to have. Just to display, make a 3D model of it, paint it, that would be so cool. Just to print it out on a 3D printer. But that would be definitely, this would be the ship that Truth escaped in on, I believe in Halo 2. But I'm not a Halo historian. You can even see this is fascinating to me. All the Forerunner, or not Forerunner, sorry, Covenant ships out here. As I get closer, I'm just kind of inching my way to it, adjusting my speed to not accidentally fly past it. Get closer and closer. They're just 2D images. And normally, these would be all slowly moving in the distance to the player. But I had always thought, see, it's even in potato resolution. It's just amazing how much my imagination just made up for, and the distance, my imagination made up for that much detail, because from about right here, those convincingly look like 3D models. I don't know if it's my imagination kicking in, but just imagine those just like slowly moving maybe sometimes you'll do a little animation of a glassing beam coming from one of them. I think they might do that in the actual game. But not everything is going to load correctly in this tool. Um, the fire animations, the smoke, it's like an animated GIF or something. I'm gonna get really close. It's like a rolling texture with a kind of something you might be able to do with a Pyomi shader. That would be really interesting. I don't know though. I don't know at all what I'm talking about with that stuff. So it's just it just doesn't even it doesn't have a backside because no way you're ever gonna see it as a player. Also, oh, we can see a city right here, city skyline, which I had never noticed in game personally. And I don't, it doesn't look like New Mombasa. It doesn't look like, uh, well, I don't know if it could be Old Mombasa or Voi, because the campaign is taking us towards the city of Voi. So, but if I, yeah, I'm at the point where everything vanishes, so I'm just gonna have to zoom from here and just, it's very, just a city skyline. I don't know if that's Voi, but it's, you guys can let me know what that city probably is. And I've noticed that this is before the things rise up out of the floor panels here, if you're aware. And also the this part of the level, um, yeah, you can see like this from this angle. That makes sense. We're heading towards Voi, so that definitely is the city, or that's the later levels. So yeah, that might be the city of Voi skyline we see out here. Um, there's a little mock-up of a some kind of foundry, maybe. I don't know. I don't, or some kind of telecommunications center or something. They've got a radio tower. Um, there's multiple of them. So I'm just gonna head straight back and maybe go into a multiplayer map and see what that looks like. Also check my chat real quick. I might have picked just a let's see. Let's open a scenario and what would I like to see? I'll go to levels, multiplayer. So we got chill out, I think, construct. I don't know what Cyberdyne is. That might be a code name for a map that is released. Cyberdyne might be the. I don't know what Cyberdyne is. Deadlock. These are just the code or pre-release names of the map, so it might not match the real map name. Isolation, Riverworld. Avalanche, Edge, Powerhouse, Reactor, Skybridge New, Turf, Waterfall, Salvation, Shrine, Snowbound, and Zanzibar. And I know Zanzibar is a popular classic of the Halo 2 fans. Or actually, it originally released on 3, didn't it? No, it was 2. It was 2 that had Zanzibar. It was I don't remember the name of it though. But yeah, Halo 3 did a Halo 2 version of that map, if I remember right. I'm just gonna load up Cyberdyne, because I don't know what that one actually is.